We often talk about the silver value of coins, but today I'm going to tell you why you shouldn't actually melt them. So for those that are unaware, this here is a round 50-cent coin. It has about 1/3 of an ounce of silver in it. So silver actually only makes up 80% of the composition of this coin. There are some other metals that are included, which give it a certain hardness and durability, which makes it more suitable for circulation. But what you may not know is that melting down any kind of Australian legal tender coins, such as this, is actually a federal crime, and you can get in a lot of trouble. You can even go to jail for it. There was actually a famous case, I think it was in the 80s, there was a forger named David G, and he actually went to prison for 7 years, although his crimes were on a much bigger scale than melting down a round 50-cent coin. He forged a number of very, very valuable coins and sold them off as genuine. So that's a really interesting story. I believe there's a book called Heads I Win, and if you get onto that, it's a fascinating read, I'm told. I haven't been fortunate enough to happen upon a copy of it myself, so if anyone watching has a copy of that book, I'd love to have a lend of it. So I'll just read the portion now from the Royal Australian Mint website, which goes over some of the rules surrounding defacing and altering Australian currency. So it's a criminal offence under the Crimes Act of 1981 to deface or destroy current Australian currency coins. It is also an offence to sell or possess current coins that have been defaced. Defacing a coin includes coating the surface of the money with any sort of material. The penalty for defacing coins or selling or possessing money that has been defaced is $11,100 or imprisonment for 2 years for an individual, or both. Jeez. And $22,200 for a body corporate. You may also be guilty of the offence of making counterfeit money if you alter a genuine coin. The destruction or alteration of designs used on coins may also infringe the right of the author of the design not to have an artistic work subject to derogatory treatment. The author's rights to integrity of authorship are protected under the Copyright Act of 1968. If you do something in relation to an artistic work that is prejudicial to the author's honour or reputation, a court can order you to stop the infringing conduct, make a public apology, or pay damages to the artist. So there you go, it's pretty serious business. I would not recommend melting down your coins to get the intrinsic metal content out of them. So that would apply to melting down your silver coins, as well as old gold coins. So this may be a bit of a shock to you. The old gold sovereigns and half sovereigns that were used in Australia back in the 1800s and early 1900s are still legal tender. There are only 2 coins that have ever been officially demonetised in Australian history, and they are the Holy Dollar and Dump from 1813. I think part of the reason they had to demonetise them is that it was technically defacing a Spanish 8 reals. So in a sense that would be a little counterintuitive, or maybe a little hypocritical if we said that you couldn't deface that particular coin. But all of the pre-decimal coinage, so that is the pennies, the threepences, sixpences, shillings, and the sovereigns, are all still legal tender. I wouldn't recommend it, but you could take them to the Reserve Bank in Martin Place in Sydney, and you could convert them into their current equivalent in decimal coinage. So you could take your £1 coin into the Reserve Bank and you could get $2 in exchange for it if you liked. So there you go. An interesting law relating to Australian coinage. I have seen interesting necklaces and things like that made out of coins, so I'm not sure how stringent the applications of this law are. However, it does exist and it is something to be mindful of. So if you're ever considering getting a batch of old florins or round 50-cent coins and melting them down, it's not something I would recommend doing, as you could end up in jail. Although I'm not sure there are any cases. If you've seen a case of someone being prosecuted, either imprisoned or having a fine issued to them, I'd love to hear about it. Also, if you find these kind of things interesting, videos like this, where I look at some perhaps interesting laws or give you some tidbits that you may not have known about Australian coins, please give the video a like and comment in the description. Any thoughts, anything at all. I'd always love reading the comments, and I always do my best to reply to everyone. So I really appreciate the support, and thank you very much for getting around the channel. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.